Hey everybody, this is Sarah from the Hiking Outdoor Family channel. I'm battling a cold this week. I'm feeling a little better, but I'm not out hiking. So I thought I would bring you a video to talk about the best advice that we have to plan a national park trip. So in a few days almost, we're going to be going on a national park trip to see our 38th, 39th, and 40th national parks. So we've got a lot of experience doing this. We started when our kids were babies, and this has been something that I feel pretty confident that I can give you some good advice on. So my first tip is if you want to plan a national park visit and you want to stay in park lodging, you've got to book early. You've got to make a plan because the in-park lodging, the in-park campgrounds, they get booked up so fast. And we've had situations, like when we visited Glacier National Park, we had to do 3 nights in one hotel and then 2 nights in another just to make our trip work. And this was even with planning early. So if you're thinking about traveling this summer, if you're thinking about traveling next fall, start planning now to secure your park lodging. My second tip is to look into permits. So many of the national parks are requiring timed entry tickets. And I know we experienced this when we went to Rocky Mountain National Park. I know that even Acadia is requiring a timed entry ticket if you want to see like sunrise or sunset on Cadillac Mountain. So you want to make sure that the park you're visiting, you know if they need a permit. And then you want to put that date on your calendar and make sure that you remember to go back and secure your permit so you'll be able to get in the park and visit when you want to. So my third tip is to make sure you purchase an America the Beautiful pass if you're going to be visiting multiple parks. So if you're a person like us, like this pass pays for itself every year. Even if we just go to local places like Assateague Island or some of the different national wildlife refuges, this saves us money having the America the Beautiful pass. And it can also save you time because if you have your pass, you can bypass waiting in line. Now, another thing to look into if you're just visiting one park is some of the parks are selling admission online, and you can buy this ahead of time, get your 1-day or your 3-day admission ticket, and that's another way to beat the lines at the gate and get into the park faster. So my tip number 4 is to plan out what you want to see and do each day. When I'm visiting national park, I try to plan several hikes for each day. And not that we're going to do all those hikes, but this gives me options because we've had so many situations where you've got wildfires or flooding, or like we wanted to do the Precipice Trail in Acadia and it was closed for nesting falcons. So you really want to have a couple of options every day of your national park visit so you can be flexible. We've had situations like when we were in Glacier, we hiked to Grinnell Glacier and it ended up being a really long hike, and the next day we were all just wiped out. So I was happy that I had set aside a few easy things to do, tour some visitor centers and a short little nature trail. So have lots of options at different levels to make your national park trip a success. Having these options will just allow you to be flexible and have a plan for no matter what happens. And my last tip, my 5th tip for visiting a national park is that to avoid the crowds, you really want to start your day early. Get to the trailhead as early as you can, making it not unenjoyable, but you don't want to ruin your vacation and get no sleep, but really want to plan to get an earlier start. And we found that especially with hiking with kids, you don't want to be bunched up on the trail. You don't want to have the pressure of crowds. You want that peace and quiet, and getting an early start will really help you with that. And then my other tip is, everybody wants to go to the highlights of the park, and that's great. But if you're there at a really crowded time, try to find those sections of the park that are beautiful and special, but are a lot less crowded. And I think you'll really enjoy that. So I hope these 5 tips help you plan your next national park trip. Thanks for watching.